Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
I'm petrified to go back. I'm so sad. I mean, I cry and cry.
Some Rockford area teachers want virtual learning only when school starts this fall. Rockford Public Schools respond, saying it would be a disservice to students.
A man considered a civil rights hero is given one of America's highest honors. We look at how people in Washington, D.C. are remembering him.
And unity through art, when Rockford Church hopes to bring the community together through this giant mural. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
School is just weeks away from starting up for many state-line districts. As parents weigh the risks of sending their kids amid the pandemic, one group thinks it's being overlooked.
Dozens of Rockford area teachers don't believe it's safe to return. Michelle Rave caught up with them during a driving protest throughout the city.
Really have concerns about in-person learning. It's a very large district. My school has over 1,000 students in it.
Starting at Rock Valley College, car after car drove through Rockford to let everyone know some area school teachers have some very real concerns about going back to the classroom this fall.
We just don't feel that a school building has the right safety protocols for the pandemic that we're in the middle of.
Stephanie Valderrama was one of dozens who showed up. She's taught at Risa Middle School for the last 5 years. Valderrama wants e-learning to start the year.
My main goal is this: 0 teacher and student deaths. We don't want to see anybody be harmed because we couldn't find solutions for the other things going on in our community.
Barber Elementary teacher Renee Sardina wants e-learning too. She considers herself high risk.
I'm the oldest person in my building, and I'm petrified to go back. I'm so sad. I mean, I cry and cry because I miss my students, and they need to have us there. We need to be in close contact, but I'm scared.
Many teachers agree a solution isn't simple or easy.
We don't want to do remote learning, but this is the world that we live in.
Kyle Hines also teaches at Risa. He says many of his fellow teachers are taking precautions for their families, just in case the worst happens.
I'm hearing about people filling out wills. I'm going to be filling out a will. I'm 31 years old, but there's plenty of stories of physically fit young people suffering, dying of COVID-19.
That's Michelle Rave reporting. We reached out to RPS 205. According to a statement from Superintendent Aaron Jarrett, the district shares the same concerns as teachers from today's rally, but the statement defends the decision to have in-person classes. Dr. Jarrett says offering in-person instruction is an issue of equity and social-emotional support. If we can't offer in-person instruction, our most vulnerable students will suffer. Jarrett adds remote-only teaching jobs will be offered on an as-needed basis for the upcoming school year.
In the meantime, the district hopes to hear from parents this week. It'll launch its back-to-school survey Wednesday. It asks parents if they want full-time remote learning for students or in-person. The survey also asks if students will need transportation to school. The deadline to fill out the survey is August 3rd. If parents don't fill it out, the district will automatically enroll students for in-person learning and no bus services. We posted a link to the survey on our website, mystateline.com.
While schools prepare for class this fall, Winnebago County health leaders stress parents need to do their part too. That includes getting students used to wearing face coverings all day and social distancing. Parents are also asked to consider the risks for after-school activities.
While the schools are doing their work behind the scenes, the teachers, the custodial, the maintenance crews, the superintendents, all of them are doing their part, but we need our families to do their part to help keep the risk of infection low.
Rockford Mass Transit District also announced during today's briefing regular bus service will return August 3rd. We'll have more on that coming up at 6. Statewide, an additional 1,200 people tested positive for the virus. 18 people also died. More than 7,400 have died so far during the pandemic.
We checked in with Rockford Police Department after 2 people died in a pair of shootings over the weekend. They tell us no suspects have been identified yet. The first murder happened Saturday on 3rd Street just off Kishwaukee. Investigators say someone in a dark SUV opened fire on a large group of people there. 3 people were hit. One of the victims, a 19-year-old man, died. The second shooting happened yesterday afternoon on Blackstone Avenue, just north of Auburn and Central. First responders took the 33-year-old victim to the hospital where he died. Anyone with information on either of these shootings is urged to call Rockford Police or Crime Stoppers.
The memory of a civil rights icon is honored in Washington, D.C. Thousands of people across the country remember John Lewis.
The Georgia representative died earlier this month. Kelly Meyer has more on the memorial, which required extra precautions due to the pandemic.
A return to Washington for Georgia Congressman John Lewis. The lawmaker's body arrived to our nation's capital Monday for farewell services on Capitol Hill after his passing earlier this month at the age of 80. The procession for the civil rights icon passed by famous Washington sites like the Lincoln Memorial and the yellow letters spelling Black Lives Matter near the White House, one of the last places he visited in person. Down Constitution Avenue, the motorcade passed by the African American History Museum, a project Lewis helped complete. Inside, members of Congress said their final farewell to the colleague who spent over 30 years walking these halls on behalf of the people of Atlanta, Georgia.
We knew that he always worked on the side of the angels, and now we know that he is with them.
The invite-only ceremony included members of the House and Senate leadership, like House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
May all of us that he will leave behind under this dome pray for a fraction of John's strength.
Reporting in Washington, I'm Kelly Meyer.
Lying in the Capitol Rotunda is one of the highest honors an American can receive. Lewis is the first black lawmaker to do so.
A Rockford mural nearly a year in the making is finally complete. Second First Church unveiled the artwork to the community today. It's called Rockford Takes Flight. It's meant to symbolically show how Rockford is learning from its past to help build a brighter future. Organizers hoped it could serve as a symbol of unity.
We all have something to offer, and so then the system can reflect the parts better when everyone's had a chance to participate and contribute.
The mural is about 1,700 square feet, covering about 5 dozen aluminum panels.
Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candice King. Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
Much more comfortable out there this evening. A live look with our Marcel Skytrack camera up in Beloit, Wisconsin. Got rid of most of that cloud cover from earlier today and got rid of that humidity too as the drier air has moved in, leaving us with a comfortable Monday evening. This much improved from the heat index values we were at yesterday afternoon, topping that triple-digit mark. 106 is what it felt like yesterday in Rochelle. 105 in DeKalb, 104 here in Rockford, and 102 in Janesville was the peak heat index yesterday afternoon. The day started off muggy with the cloud cover and some showers and even a couple rumbles of thunder, but as that drier air has come in, it's taken our dew point temperatures from the 70s yesterday and brought those numbers down into the 50s here this evening. This means it is going to be a very pleasant night tonight. The wind will lighten up as high pressure moves closer to us. Maybe a night you can open up the windows again, let a little bit of fresh air in. 83 right now our temperature in Rockford. That's also our temperature our weather watcher Bob here in Rockford is checking in with. Had just a trace of rainfall from today. 80 degrees in Freeport, Monroe, 82 in Janesville, 81 right now in Belvedere, and sitting at 82 degrees in Dixon. We've got a pattern change coming up as we round out the last few days here of July, so it's really going to keep a lot of that heat focused back out to the west. That big ridge of high pressure we had over the weekend kind of squashed and pushed back further west. We get this area of low pressure that develops over much of eastern Canada and the northeastern Great Lakes through these next couple of days, so it sets up what's known as northwesterly flow. That wind in the jet stream is coming in from the northwest. This kind of limits the amount of moisture we have with any storm system to work with, so really we stay pretty quiet. But the one thing you have to watch underneath that northwesterly flow Sometimes you get little disturbances or little mini low pressure systems that can work through and provide a few showers and a couple of thunderstorms, and that's what we might have these next couple of days. High pressure building in for us here this evening, leaving us with a relatively clear sky. The cloud cover we do have out there this evening, that'll fade away and our wind will turn light as we go through the night. In fact, plenty of sunshine to kick off our Tuesday. There is, however, a cold front, a backdoor cold front. This will be working in from the north and northeast during the afternoon and evening. So we'll actually start to see a little increase in some of that cloud cover tomorrow afternoon. Now, any showers with this should stay confined to the north and north of the state line during the afternoon hours, but we could see a couple of showers and a few rumbles of thunder work in as we head towards the evening. Notice the overall coverage, pretty light out there, so not expecting anything too widespread, but there is that chance it'll stay with us tomorrow night and then going into Wednesday, and we could see that redevelop again Thursday afternoon with another system that works in, but high pressure continues to build as we go through the weekend. So down to 62 degrees for us tonight. A little breezy out there this evening. Our winds will turn light, mostly clear. Temperatures tomorrow up near 85. A little warmer for tomorrow afternoon, and with that southwesterly wind, you might start to notice some humidity return just a bit Tuesday night and then into Wednesday, and you can tell with those overnight low temperatures too, but lower 80s here as we round out the end of this week and going into the weekend.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
Well, Major League Baseball teams and officials have had a startling start to their week. They learned this morning that a total of 11 Florida Marlins players plus 2 coaches have now tested positive for the coronavirus. The positive test came while they were in Philadelphia over the weekend. The Marlins were supposed to play their home opener tonight against the Orioles. That game has been called off. So is the Phillies-Yankees game in Philadelphia. This news brings into question whether or not Major League Baseball will be able to complete its 60-game season. The Cubs game in Cincinnati is still on. John Lester will pitch. The White Sox game in Cleveland has been rained out. The Rockford Rivets are now in the Northwoods League history books. They scored a league record 28 runs yesterday in a 28-7 win over the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders. The Rivets had 19 hits and they benefited from 16 walks. It was a day they'll never forget.
Me and the boys, shook things up in the clubhouse, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
We didn't hit BP yesterday, as crazy as it sounds. We mixed it up a little bit. We're usually out here doing early work every day, doing all our stuff, and I think Keimer wanted to give us a break. For better or for worse, baseball is a weird game. Sometimes that's just the change you need.
Hey, that's special for not just these guys, but our organization to be in the record book.
Well, the Rivets are playing the Dock Spiders again this evening. We'll see how many they score now. There won't be any fall sports at Beloit College. The Midwest Conference has suspended all sports for the remainder of this calendar year. Well, last Monday I brought you the story about Auburn's Brian Ott and other basketball coaches in Illinois making a push to bring a shot clock to high school basketball. They sent out surveys to coaches throughout the state. The results are in. 72% of the coaches said yes, they want a shot clock. Now those survey results will be forwarded to the IHSA. And the Packers are making a push to bolster the defensive line. They reportedly are very interested in free agent defensive end Everson Griffin. Last season with the Vikings, he had 8 sacks and 24 quarterback hits. The Vikings are also interested in re-signing him, and no doubt they don't want him to end up with the Packers. There was a moment earlier this year when Rockton native Corey Anderson didn't know if he'd be able to fight again in UFC. TMZ reports that Anderson had had 2 outpatient procedures on his heart this spring after he collapsed on a rural road in late February while he was out hiking. Anderson says he spent 5 days in the emergency room while doctors tried to figure out what caused him to black out. He says his recovery has gone well and he has been cleared to fight again.
Nice and comfortable out there this evening. Temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s for us as we go through the night tonight. Mostly clear skies. Our winds will stay light. Good night maybe to open up the windows, let a little bit of fresh air in. Temperature tomorrow up near 85 for the afternoon. Skies will turn partly cloudy. Small chance for a late day shower, maybe a rumble of thunder. Tuesday night then into Wednesday. Isolated chances on Thursday, but high pressure remains in control, which will keep us actually with more of a northeasterly wind as we head into the weekend. So our temperatures as we kick off the first weekend of August in the lower 80s.
Sure nice to get a break from the humidity. Thanks, Candace.
And thanks for watching. Stay safe.